But we are talking Chelsea. New head coach Liam Rosenior watched on from the stands as they lost 2-1 to Fulham. That drops them to 8th in the table. And once again, disciplinary problems were at the centre of the debate. Chelsea had Marc Cucurella sent off in the first half for bringing down Harry Wilson. And it was Wilson who proved to be the match winner with another great strike. If that wasn't bad enough, there was anger in the away end with chants and banners aimed at the club's ownership. Rosenior officially starts work with Chelsea today and has a big job to improve Chelsea's season. He spoke with Sky Sports before the loss at Fulham and explained his style and what he'll bring to the club.
For this opportunity to come up at this stage of my career is great, but my biggest focus is not about being Chelsea manager, it's about being a winning Chelsea manager. And that's the message I gave to the players yesterday when I was fortunate enough to meet them for the first time, and we need to hit the ground running for the rest of the season. Every manager has an idea of the way they want to play. That's what makes you a coach. For me, I have an idea of the way I want to play. It has to suit the players. I think that's one of the reasons I've been brought to the club. I think my style fits the players perfectly, but you have to be able to adapt, in terms of tactics, in terms of formations and systems. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing for me is intensity, running, spirit and quality. And you can do that in many, many different ways in football.
OK, so Liam Rosenior, of course, officially Chelsea head coach.
Notice the word he used there is manager constantly and repetitively. Well, you've just said head coach and he's just used the word manager.
Well, that was interesting the other day.
Clever.
When he did his news conference at Strasbourg, he did say, I'm leaving to become manager of Chelsea, but then Chelsea's statement said head coach.
Head coach, but I like the way he's talking.
So is he saying, I don't care if you call me head coach?
He's assumptively and presuming saying, I am the manager of Chelsea. Fair play.
OK, all right. Not fair play is their red cards.
No,
actually,
ridiculous.
Quite the opposite.
Ludicrous.
8 in all competitions. How does he stop that?
It's a fine line, because you'd want him to go in and talk about it and hit it hard discipline-wise, but he can't do that. He's got to win over a dressing room. He's got to get the respect of his players. I think he sits in a room and analyses the 8 red cards and goes, look at where we'd be in the table without the red cards. Simple. Right, how do we fix it? I'm going to have to come down on you like a ton of bricks. You cannot, and he's one of their experienced players, Cucurella. You cannot lose your head and do stupid things like that in a game. It drives me mad when I see players take needless red cards in games. There's one thing making a tackle by mistake, and it could be a violent tackle, but the player hasn't meant to hurt somebody, and it just happens in the heat of a game. Pulling somebody back, getting a second yellow card, getting one for dissent, getting one for taking your shirt off when you're on a yellow. Some of the things that go on in football, sometimes my brain just explodes watching it. So if I were him, I'm sure he's analysed it all. He will address that very quickly, and I dare say their discipline will improve very quickly and dramatically.
How do you think he's going to get on?
I think he'll do really well. I do. I think he should have taken the game last night. It was a great chance, go in there. But look, Fulham's not an easy place to go to and win at. But I honestly think he will surprise a lot of people. I said it yesterday. The football will be good. Things will calm down. They will start winning again. And probably knowing Chelsea will win a trophy whilst everyone's protesting their owners.
Well, you don't like protests to the owners.
It's not about me being an owner and protest with owners and everything else. Sometimes my head falls off when I hear it, and I get it. You can be unhappy with ownership and you can protest. It's your freedom to do that. And the way they run the club and the recruitment policy, but it's a club who constantly wins trophies, no matter who the owner is, constantly been up there. Yes, they haven't won a Premier League title for a while, but they've just gotten the top 4. They've just won 2 pretty sizable trophies, and they're in all competitions right now. Let's just calm down off the pitch.
Right. Well, Chelsea fan Nina Hristova joins us now. Right, Nina, you'll have been hearing that. I think the first thing to ask is what you think about the appointment of Rosenior, because I don't think we've had you on since.
Well, I'll tell you that Dara is feeling a lot more optimistic about Chelsea at the moment than I am, so thanks for that. I woke up feeling hopeless today, but yeah, I mean, it's a dark way to start the year, really. I think we're just thrown straight into the turmoil once again, and there comes a time at Chelsea where every season we just reach this moment of capitulation. Everything comes crashing down. We're looking up, we're looking down, we're looking at the head coach, the players, how good enough they are, and it's just it's like here we go again, and we're almost 4 years into what we call this project, and it seems to just hit reset every time a new coach comes in, and we just feel like we're at square one. But ultimately the problems are just so much deeper rooted at Chelsea, and we're looking well above right now. You mentioned Tom, the fans last night chanting in the away away, and the message is loud and clear. We're not quite sure what the direction of the club is. We're not quite sure what we're doing, what the ambition is here. So yeah, there's this feeling of despair across all fans. I thought 22-23 was possibly the worst I could feel as a Chelsea fan, but somehow this season is coming very close, if not beating it.
Nina, you obviously, you guys like a bit of drama, and I get
We love it.
There's a bit of panic there. But with all that said, if you end up winning again, 2 trophies, top 4, top 5, Champions League again, and scoring a fair amount of goals and looking good on the eye for the next 4 or 5 months, are we having a different conversation?
They're still asking a lot, though.
Well, yeah, that's the truth. And when you say 2 trophies, I guess you're talking about maybe both domestic cups, or are you talking about a Champions League?
You don't know. You don't know.
Oh, you don't?
Would you?
You know what? That is true.
Yeah, well,
that is true. And actually, but that is kind of the problem as well with Chelsea, is that we're very much a tournament team at the moment, and that's all we're viewed as. And that's an issue because we haven't won the league in a very long time. The new owners set out this plan that we would recruit, pretty much clear out the structure, the players, a lot of the backroom staff, to just now build this clean slate to turn this into a Premier League winning team. And we look so far off. I mean, coming off such a high of the Club World Cup win in the final against PSG, we all thought we'd be challenging this year. And we are 17, going to be 20 points behind Arsenal this season, mid-January, well, not even mid-January. So it's really concerning. And you mentioned there, we have had those highs. We won the Conference League, great. We tend to do well. We won, we got to a final at Wembley and a semi-final not long ago at Wembley. So we are definitely doing well. But that's the problem. It's the one-off games. It's the inconsistencies of doing that, because you only ever need to be good enough in a knockout game to proceed to the next stage. But we can't do it over a 38-game Premier League season. That's the ambition here. And we're 8th now, and you look at the point gap, it's so narrow, but we're so further down, closer to 15th than we are to 3rd, 2nd and 1st, which just tells you everything. But it's going to look like another sluggish top 4 race, and that's our biggest concern, because we want Champions League football next year. That's an absolute must. We cannot just have this merry-go-round again of being out and clawing our way back in. But yes, I'd love to win a cup. It would put us on a high, but ultimately the concerns are much greater here, because we're focused on winning that Premier League. That is our ultimate goal here, and it just looks like a long way away.
And well, you're 3 points. I mean, you're only 3 points off 4th, 2 points off 5th, which again could do it. But I can see that you're against the board. But what did you think of the decision to appoint Rosenior, though? Are you behind him?
Well, we're behind him now because he is our coach. He's going to be in the dugout, and ultimately we have to get behind and support him. There's just no point of being so doom and gloom about it now, because it is a fact. And I don't want to blame the guy. He's not really at fault. He's just walking into what's a very difficult situation. And I think let me correct myself, not manager, head coach that walks into the dugout is bound to face challenges at the moment. So yeah, he's young. I was apprehensive. I probably still am because of the CV, but this is the way that we operate now. We're not appointing managers who have won major honours. There's no more Ancelotti's, Mourinho's, Conte's coming to the club. So ultimately this is the way we're going now, and it's all about mirroring the strategy of recruiting players, right? We're bringing in coaches who have done well maybe in the Championship, Premier League, and we're giving them 5-6 years of a contract to work magic for long-term stability. But there is no long-term stability, because we're not sure he could outlast Maresca. Is he going to make it past 18 months? We're not so sure. But yes, look, a thin CV there, slim credentials, but seems like a good coach with a clear philosophy. He spoke well in the interview, but let's be real, everyone does. They're all about the big words, and Chelsea's a massive club. We're going to be great again. So it sounds good. I think he's got a good voice, a good presence, a personality, but I am just a little bit unsure, because if I'm telling you that I want to win the Premier League in a short amount of time, and we're appointing these kind of calibre of coaches who haven't really ever even gotten close managing at the highest level, it does raise your concerns. But again, we're looking further above Rosenior. He's not the problem here. It is very much coming from further up above. If we're looking for long-term stability and we keep hiring and sort of firing or just falling out with the coaches, then you're never going to reach the long-term stability you preach. So that's where us fans are sitting there raising our eyebrows. Actually, what are you aiming for here? What are we doing? What's the bigger picture? And we just seem like we're so not aligned with what the fans want and what the ownership want. And I don't believe they don't want to win. If they're interested in making money, you have to win, right? To boost the market value of these players, they have to win trophies. We know that. We're not silly about it, but it just seems like these players are viewed as assets at the moment, that we're just trying to play whoever, and there's no really making sense of what starting 11 we choose game in, game out. It seems all too erratic, and yeah, it's a big struggle. We just feel a little bit in a feeling of despair at the moment, to be honest.
You certainly cut out those red cards as well. I'd imagine that's very frustrating. Nina, thank you.